Hey, what's up everybody? Jake here and welcome to the hobby. Right now I think is a great time for me to catch you guys up on how the state of the Pokemon card market is currently looking at. We're going to talk about the vintage stuff, the modern stuff, the singles, the sealed products, everything and more. Specifically, what has been climbing in terms of value and what has not. What are the winners and what are the losers in the Pokemon card market over the past year? The brief response is that it's a lot more bad news than it is good news. Generally speaking, the Pokemon card market is very stagnant right now. There are some winners, and we're going to definitely talk about those winners. Why are they winners? Why have they been climbing in value when the general market is kind of stagnant? So first off, let's talk about the vintage market. I usually like to start off with vintage just because that's usually our starting point when it comes to Pokemon cards. And usually when it's vintage, the best card to look at is going to be base set Charizard, just because this card trades hands more often than any other vintage Pokemon card. It's just a very common card for people to pick up and trade. It's a common trade card. In general, it looks like base set Charizard does not even have a heartbeat. It's super flat. There are going to be a couple of times when it looks like it's climbing a little bit. You might see the needle move a little bit up and down, but it looks like if you bought a base set Charizard at this time last year for 300 bucks, right now, you might be listing it online for exactly $300, and that's okay. The vintage market is extremely stable. If you list a base set Charizard, someone will offer you money for it almost immediately. It's still a super popular card, and it's still traded hands quite often. I would personally say the vintage market is just super healthy right now, and I think that's an okay time. Not everything needs to be constantly climbing in terms of value, especially when it comes to collectibles. If you know my motto, collectibles like to spike in value. They're one of those items where they may be $300 for 10 years straight, and suddenly they hit a catalyst event, and suddenly base set Charizard is now worth $1,000 or $2,000. We don't know what that catalyst is. We don't know if that will ever occur, but that's just how collectibles work. So in terms of the vintage market, it's pretty much a flat line right now. If you want to pick up a card, now would be a really safe time to pick it up because you don't have to worry about it climbing or dropping in value. It's probably going to be a staying point. There are cards out there that they have one listing online and they sell for $1,000 this month and $2,000 the next month, and those are the scary cards. But for the vintage market, that's not it. It's super safe, and I think that's a great starting point. So that's just the singles. How does the sealed products look? Similar to base set Charizard, a great example of a sealed product that you can actually analyze is going to be the sealed base set booster packs, just because there's a lot of copies of these still out there, especially the unlimited version. There's still a lot of copies of unlimited base set out there, and a lot of people have them inside of their collection just because it's a cool display piece and lots of people have it. So how does vintage sealed products look? Well, right now it looks like the same thing, super flat, the same price point for the whole entire year. If you picked up a base set booster pack for $300 a year ago, you can expect to trade hands with it for another $300. So it hasn't really gone up in value. It will follow probably in the exact same metric as the base set Charizard. So why is it that the sealed products doesn't seem to climb in value at all, even though they are supposed to be getting more and more rare? And that to me is really going to go down to demand. When it comes to sealed products, especially the vintage stuff, they are not seen as cool as the cards. The cards are very, very cool. Everyone is nostalgic about holding a base set Charizard in their hand. That's just a cool card. Everyone knows it. It's super iconic. But when it comes to a base set sealed booster pack, that's a more niche part of the hobby. Not everyone collects sealed products. In fact, I would say it's in the minority of people that actually collect sealed products. It's definitely gotten more popular over the past couple of years just because people have seen how much sealed products can climb in terms of value. But sealed products, I would say, is definitely on the more boring side. And because it's more boring and it's a more niche and the demand is lower, it just doesn't really see that level of climb unless it's something really exciting, which we will talk about the winners, the things that have gone up in value. But now we're done with vintage, so let's talk about modern. In terms of modern sealed products, there's a couple of different items that I picked out. Sword and Shield base set booster box, just because it's just a really generic booster box. How does it look? Hasn't climbed at all. Most sealed products, especially the modern stuff, is pretty darn stagnant. Same thing with something else. I'm just going to grab something else from the modern sealed repertoire, and that is the Hidden Fates Elite Trainer box. We're going with an Elite Trainer box this time. How does Hidden Fates, which was a very popular set and still an exciting set to crack open today because it's got a lot of fun shiny GX hits, how does that look? Hidden Fates Elite Trainer box, also flatline. Hasn't really climbed at all in terms of value at all. If you purchase one for $140 or $160 a year ago, you're still looking at $140 to $160 today. So modern steel products is pretty much staying at the same trajectory as the vintage stuff. Really, really flat. So what does that say about the market right now? I think the market is just at a very calm state, which is fine. I think that's actually a really solid time to just be a collector when you can pick something up and know that it's gonna be the same price tomorrow. I think it's a really scary time when you purchase a product and you don't know if it's gonna go for half the price or double the price tomorrow. I think that's much scarier, and we were at that point 2 years ago. 2 years ago, if you purchase a steel product, you might see that it's completely sold out the next day, and now your steel product, a brand new product that just released by the way, is going for double or triple MSRP, and now you're scratching your head thinking, well, do I crack it open or do I sell it, become a scalper and make some additional profit? Because that's a real dilemma. You don't have that dilemma right now, which is a great thing. So that's at least the sealed modern stuff. What about the singles? The singles are in an even worse trajectory. Most modern single cards are now dropping in value, and I think that's expected, as they should, because as people crack open more booster packs, there's more copies on the market. With higher supply, the prices will drop. When most sets are cracked open, unless you're talking about like the top most expensive card in the set where everyone wants, the vast majority of the cards are only going to get cheaper and cheaper as more and more people crack them open. And you know what they say about Scarlet and Violet right now? They say it's overprinted. But guess what? 3 years ago, everyone said Sword and Shield was overprinted. 6 years ago, everyone said X and Y was overprinted. And I wouldn't even say that they were wrong. Those sets were overprinted at the time. They were absolutely overprinted at the time. If you ask me 5 years ago, did I think XY Evolutions was overprinted? I would say yes, it was overprinted for the time. But that's how the time changed. There are way more collectors nowadays than there was 5 years ago. That doesn't mean there's going to be way more collectors in 5 years than there are today, because there's a lot of collectors today. There's still a ton of collectors in the next 5 years, but I don't know if we're going to see that same level of collectors. So who knows, maybe the general public is finally ripe for one, and Scarlet and Violet is actually truly overprinted, but we don't know that. I still have sealed products from Scarlet and Violet just because I like collecting some of the modern sealed booster box. So I have sealed booster box from Scarlet and Violet that I picked up for $90 a booster box, because why not? That's a great deal. If you could pick up a Paradox Rift booster box for $80 during the Black Friday special, I would absolutely do that. That's a great deal regardless of it going up or not. It's just a great time to pick it up because it's a steal even at that price, and I wouldn't really worry about it being overprinted or not, because you can always crack it open and know that you just spent 80 bucks on it and you had $80 worth of value in terms of just the fun of cracking it open. So I wouldn't worry too much about the sealed product stuff. So that's the general state of the market. Vintage stuff, pretty stagnant. Modern stuff, pretty stagnant. So what has gone up in value? The stuff that has gone up in value is the popular stuff. The niche stuff that is low in supply and incredibly popular by a significant margin. A year ago, I could have probably picked up an XY Evolutions booster box for around $300. Now they are going for upwards of $480 or so. You might find some a little bit cheaper. You might find some a little bit more expensive depending on where you live, but that does show that there are items climbing in the market even when it's really, really stagnant and slowing down. So what are some other stuff that has gone up in value? I'm saying the stuff that is low in supply and high in demand. So that seems kind of obvious, but what are some of those items? The first one up, we got ourselves the Japan Post promo box. Of course, it's climbed up in value. It's got some really cool art cards inside. Everyone loves this box, and it was print to demand at the time, but guess what? Demand has absolutely blown up for this card. There just aren't enough copies of it floating around for everyone to have a copy inside of their collection. So the sealed Japan Post promo boxes are now going for upwards of around $500 for a box. And I still remember they were going for around $300 a year ago. So what are some other stuff that's gone up? Another item that has just been low in supply and high in demand would be the Japanese 25th anniversary golden box. It's a little bit gaudy because it's super bright in gold. However, it's just really cool. It's significantly more rare than the Celebrations Ultra Premium Collection, which is its counterpart in English. And while the Celebrations Ultra Premium Collection has pretty much flatlined as a lot of other sealed products has for our modern stuff, the Japanese Golden Box has slowly and steadily climbed in terms of value. Once again, it was going for around $200 last year, and now it's going for upwards of $400. So those are some of the winners. So if you're looking to collect something right now, it looks like the message of this video is that the best products to collect that actually go up in value are the ones that you kind of expect to, just because that's the way the crowd flows. The items that are high in demand, super popular, and low in supply, like the Evolving Skies booster box. So that is the general trend of the market right now. I think the message of this video is one that's not going to be super exciting, and it's going to be a little bit boring, but that's just how collecting is. And it looks like the items that are actually going to go up in value are the ones that are super popular, the ones that you almost expect to go up in value, the ones that are actually in demand, the ones that are actually kind of low in supplies. So that just seems to make sense, and it seems super obvious, and that's okay. I think collecting doesn't have to be super duper exciting all the time. Sometimes it can just be boring, where you pick the item that you know is going to go up in value, like an Evolving Skies booster box, and it does just because everyone is collecting something like that. So that's, I think, the message of today's video. Let me know what your thoughts are. Do you agree or disagree with that? Some people have some extreme hot takes where they would say something else besides Evolving Skies is the best set of Sword and Shield, which is completely fair. There are a bunch of other really cool sets from the era. There are other sets that are just as good. If you were to pick something else like Brilliant Stars or Fusion Strike, I'm not going to disagree with you. You are entitled to your opinions, of course, and that's what's great about the collecting, is that if you really believe that another set is better, you can voice it. You can go on social media, you can gush about these sets, and you can try to sway public opinion. I'm simply speaking on public opinion, and some people will say, I think Evolving Skies is the best set. And I do think Evolving Skies is a really, really cool set, and I'm not sure if I would consider it the best set, just because personally it's not a super fun set to crack open, because if you open up 100 booster packs of Evolving Skies, you're probably gonna cry. You're probably gonna cry because it's not a lot of fun to crack open. Besides 1 or 2 booster packs where you pull a super cool alt art card, the other 98 booster packs are not gonna be a lot of fun to crack open. It's probably just gonna be a terrible experience. So that's why I personally don't rate Evolving Skies so high, because I enjoy the pack opening experience, and it's just not a good one when it comes to Evolving Skies. So something that has a really fun pack opening experience like V-Star Universe or Crown Zenith or VMAX Climax is just a lot more fun to me. So that's where my opinion would differ than the market. And I would love to hear your opinion as well. What do you guys think right now? What are you currently collecting? And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time.